the 8th of May in time for another garden update. Our herb garden is growing fantastically. We've been eating lots of greens out of it. It's my favourite salad bush. Looks beautiful in the garden. Mexican tarragon, lovely licorice flavour to add to the salads. Tomatoes starting to flower. We've picked our first bunch of this one and nearly ready for the second. These ones are all growing lovely. Here in our main garden, our tomatoes here badly need staking. My plan is to do a metal frame, quite a high metal frame, and with string coming off the top, and I'll wind the string around each bush, so that desperately needs doing. Eggplants are still going along there. I did actually plant some eggplants along here, but they've been forgotten and buried by the nasturtium. Here's our corn patch, which is growing nicely, but I've got a feeling that this corn is going to be short and stunted. I had that happen once before. They just never really grew very tall. I got fruit on them and everything, but they were really short, so I don't know if I've perhaps lacked water in the growing process, which is always possible. I'm just pulling off any of these extra shoots so that the rest of the energy can go into making the corn rather than growing offshoots that aren't going to do anything. Okay, that job's finished. We also have our potato patch here with the first potatoes coming through. So that's really super exciting. And the nasturtium's really taken off, which is fantastic. It's the best time of year for nasturtium. As soon as you get a bit of a sore throat, start eating 2 or 3 leaves at every meal, and it works really well as an antibiotic to get rid of any of those unwanted bugs. Starved off many a cold before it got started with that. This is going to be parsnip. I've put all the manure and everything down, I just need to turn it in. And this here is going to be garlic, which needs to be urgently done. I prepared that yesterday and hopefully tomorrow we'll get it done. These are our lovely cabbages growing in this lasagna bed. It's going really, really well. And our cauliflower as well. It looks like they might even start, no, maybe not quite yet, getting heads. This one here has struggled the whole time. It looks like it's been broken off now. I might pull him out and plant something else there, because he's just going to cause disease there. This is our lovely nutgrass patch that I never got on top of, but I have sprayed it now and everything's dying off. I need to give it another spray. But this is my other pest patch, filled with this yellow, I don't know what it is, stringy, strangly stuff. Real pain to get out of the garden. A bit like the nutgrass. Everything that it strings around it just sticks to so thoroughly, you have to pull the whole plant out. At least this is weeds, so we're going to pull these weeds out as soon as possible before it spreads to the rest of the garden. And we might burn them or something. I've got a pile of stuff to burn, so. And that's nothing. And this patch was our sweet potato patch that we had some friends over, so I thought to cut it all back and dig up some sweet potatoes for them to take home. And then afterwards I went through again and got another whole patch. Got another whole lot of sweet potatoes, and here's one more as well, a little bit eaten out by something, but I'm sure there's probably plenty more in there as well. I need to fork over it again, and I'm going to do a lasagna bed of this one, just let it sit, because a lot of the sweet potato had root knot nematode damage. So we'll do that and see if we can repair the soil like this one. Over to our compost piles. This is the horse manure one. It's a bit manky, so I think just leaving it by itself, I really need to incorporate something else into that, and some more carbon matter. Maybe I'll even combine these two piles. And this is our chicken poo and sawdust pile. It's looking pretty good, but it's still, and when you look closely at it, it's still mainly wood material. It's not really dirt yet. So I think it needs to be left for a little bit longer. I took some out of here last night for a bed, but I don't know, it's not really quite. Okay, so here we are down in the first chicken yard, and these are my snake beans that I planted. They look a bit damaged from something. I don't know if it's bug or what, but they have been pretty stressed because I didn't have water here, but now I have water. I installed yesterday. Maybe it's aphid damage, judging by the ants hanging out here. I might need to spray that or something. So there's a bit of a gap there and another one, but I'll mainly keep those ones for seeds because I nearly lost all my snake beans. This is the Queensland arrowroot. It's got some new shoots coming there, taking a little while to come back. I'll probably cut it back a bit too hard, but hopefully we'll have something to eat there soon. This is my small cabbage patch. They're all doing very nicely, except for this one here is well eaten by something, and I'm not sure who's doing it. This one here as well. So I don't know if I have perhaps a possum coming at night and doing that, but someone's having little nibbles. And here is my zucchini bush, in which I have quite a number of zucchinis growing. I'm going to whip this one here off because it didn't get fertilized because there was no male flowers at the time. But it's still edible. And I'm going to take this old male flower here and try and fertilize this one here before it goes, because there was no, the male flowers aren't quite in time with the female flowers at the moment, which is a bit of a pain. I think that's why there's an advantage in having at least two zucchini bushes at the same time, so at least you've always got some male flowers and some female flowers at the same time. So I just peeled back the male flower, and I'll stick it in here and just rub it all around the bottom of the female flower. I think that should work. There was still pollen there, and we'll see how that goes. Here we have carrots. I've planted 2 rows. I didn't plant them very thickly, I just planted them where I wanted them to come out, and you'll see there's spots where they didn't come up, so I just need to replant those. And over here we have the rest of the cabbages, of which I've lost a few to cutworm, I think. What's going on with this one? This one's half been eaten by a cutworm, and it's kind of managed to keep going, but I don't think it will go very well. And the same thing that's eating the other ones must be eating these ones, so I'd love to find out who the culprit is. I might have to come out at night and see who's doing that. And here we have our rehoused chickens. Hey little chickies! I've got them in a house within a house because this area can get rats. So until they get a little bit bigger, they're going to live in there. And behind the chicken shed we have our cucumber, of which I've got quite a number of cucumbers growing, which I'm so excited about. We've already eaten one off here, and now we've got at least 5 more going, so that's grown really well. It's not showing any sign of real disease or anything like that, so it looks like it will keep going for a while. We have our ever-bearing kale. It's not really going crazy, like, just really enough. I can give it to the chickens. I give them a leaf every now and again. And our beautiful ginger somewhere deep down under here. It's growing really, really well. Lots of new shoots coming up, filling out lovely. We have our celery there. In the back corner we have a lot more celery, and we also have some turmeric growing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the celery ends up turning out. I'm hoping it's getting enough water. Now over in this chicken yard we have our Ancona rooster. I'm pretty sure he's a bantam, and I'm not sure about the girls yet, they're still young. This is their little scrap pile. And in their yard, I've separated this area off using the wire that I was using for my composting. And I'm going to plant this out in potatoes. This is where I put the compost, the sawdusty compost from that other bed in here. And yeah, I would like to enrich it a bit more. It needs some more manure, I think. Our pawpaw tree, which is going really well. It's a bit diseasey. I don't know what's causing that on the leaves, but it's growing. It seems to be okay. And at the bottom of it we've got a few wild tomatoes and some leftover kale that I dumped there. Our sweet potato patch is still going pretty good. Doesn't look the healthiest. Probably needs, what all my garden needs is water. If it doesn't have automatic watering, it just doesn't get watered. And our compost pile, so it's the combined of all those 3 bins. And I just actually piled this up this morning. I left it while I was on antibiotic treatment because I didn't want to expose myself to fungus spores. So I left it to the chickens, and they were a little bit lazy. I ended up dumping food scraps on it so that they got into it. And eventually they had dug most of it out, so I just piled it all back up. Now they can start again. I put a few sticks up the top there because a cheeky rooster was using the top of the pile to jump over the fence. And that's going really nice. Over here we have my poor elderberry that the chickens dug up, and I have revived it, but it does need some more water again today by the looks of things. So I'm hoping that will come back with a flourish now that I've got some good sturdy chicken protection around it. And this morning I came to feed the chickens and ended up doing this. I found cicatillas in my hand and I went to town on this palm bush. I've been wanting to do it for ages so I can actually walk through this area without getting scratched or poked in the eye. Consequently, I didn't do it with gloves and ended up with lots of thorns in my fingers to have to dig out. But I'm really glad that that job's done. So that's about it for the garden. Chickens have laid a random egg. Someone must have got desperate. I've got 2 more clucky chooks who are hogging the nests and not allowing anyone to lay. Are you? Oh, the other one's gone out for a walk by the looks of things. But yes, a little bit of a problem there with clucky chooks hogging the nest. So I have to decide now whether I'm going to put some eggs under them or decluckify them. So that's it for now. We'll get a bit more work done and do another update in June, and hopefully everything will be really growing and we might even be harvesting some stuff by then. Okay, catch ya.